Alright, welcome to Just Magic the Gathering. I was looking to, at a certain point, maybe try a new deck. Yesterday, I was wondering about building out a mono red deck. And in the end, I ended up with a blue red deck that I'm not sure how well it's going to hold up. But I figured give it a try and see how it does it. I built it around elementals, and it originally started as I was gonna build a merfolk deck, and then when I was looking at it, it's like, I don't have its mono red deck. I'm not a huge fan. But we'll see how it works. It comes in slow because of the 2, and the supine Linux will damage myself based on that. So Obliterating Bolt will do 4 damage, and on 3 I can get a one-time boom to duplicate it. He is playing the Eclipsed Elf. He went for a Elf Warrior. So, in a way, I'm hoping he plays that. He's playing green-black. Just take the damage. Interesting. Whenever you cast a spell with 4 or greater, draw a card. So that will turn into card draw. Or not. In a way, that is what I was waiting for on being able to do the Obliterating Bolt. At this point, I can Obliterating Bolt it. That creature would die. Exile it instead. So I did just basically throw in my elementals. This one turns into a land on my opponent's turn, which is kind of nice in that my land's a lot more protected, and it allows me mana during their turn, even if I tapped them out beforehand. It deals damage to the number of non-basic lands they control. So at this point they have 4 non-basic lands to my 2 non-basic lands. Just questioning here, at the beginning of your end step, untap them. Whenever you cast a blue spell, he gets +1/+1. No attacks. And then I'll turn back to a land, and I can use my Obliterating Bolt if needed. Just wonder what the best way here is. And that's a sorcery, so I don't know what I was thinking. He's gonna hit me for the 5. No way, there's no way I can come back from this. It's just questioning that. So he gets a treasure token. I'm not sure what his last one is. So sacrifice this artifact to draw. He has 7 mana, so you can basically draw a full hand. Although not now. And he's just relying on top decking, or he's going to get a full hand right here. It's only to target creature or planeswalker, so it doesn't actually do me much. He's playing a control-heavy deck, which in a way I am too. A 1/1 Death Touch. Among elementals you control. So, didn't really slow him down much. Gets a full hand. And that should be my 7 damage. So, well, I'm kind of happy with how it played. And for a 7-minute game, that's, I guess, about average. It didn't drag out. I almost got all my attacks. Blue-red. Give it one more try here. Everything is elementals, other than my direct damage. And I just kind of put a combination of direct damage in. I'm not sure I like it. Because I don't have a lot of mana. I should be running mana heavy, if anything. And yeah, if I don't get into mana here, this is probably not going to be a good, solid game. 3 damage to 1 target. There we go. I can do 1 damage to each of them. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. Trying to figure out what to do. And this one, at the beginning of your end step, if you attacked, he gets a token out of the deal. This allows me to go for either another elemental or a land. At this point, I'd kind of like to go for a land. Depends what I have. A lot at my disposal. I will go for, yeah, my reflective. I probably shouldn't have, because that is going to slow me down in a way. No attacks. Two damage. Shock. And that's one that I didn't put in here. In a way, I was actually wondering about making a mono direct damage. I'm assuming he's looking to pump it. Kill you. And you. I don't have a lot of options here for what to do. Or just keep pushing the magic, I guess. Assuming he's going to be doing something pretty big here with 6 mana. Three damage. Assuming he's looking to finish her off, or gets a goblin out of the deal too. My monastery, which turns into card draw if I need it. Treasure token. And I'm just at this point gonna pass. I probably should have gone for my card draw to begin with. 3 damage to any target. So I don't know. At that point, we were basically both just top decking, and I don't think he wanted to see it through, or either way, knocked out my daily, got some coins, got my 2, and I didn't finish my last week. Either way, I made it through my pass. Because the pass reset yesterday, and I wasn't necessarily paying enough attention. So yeah, for my elementals deck, I in a way tried to go high, because I had the elementals that allow me to look for elementals. And either an island or a mountain, so it's card draw, and it allows for just synergy. And that's in a way what I decided to go for this. I was initially looking at what elementals I had. I had a couple like rares, and I just basically tried to throw my nice ones in and then fill it out, because I have more elementals that can fit in this deck. Or I did round it out with, in a way, my direct damage. So I started on the Eclipsed Flamekin and filled out that set because I had some uncommons I could exchange. The Reflective Rimkin this is the one that when this creature enters, you get a one-time boon with the next instant or sorcery spell with 3 or less. You can copy it and choose new targets. So that works with my Obliterating Bolt, my Iroh's Demonstration, and my Abrade. Belton the Parched is the one that allows me to get +1/+1 until end of turn when I cast blue spells. So that is kind of temperamental. But I do like the fact that on my turn it turns in, or on their turn, it turns into a land for protection. In fact, I only had one of those and I threw it in here just to see how it would work. And since it is an elemental, the abrade is 3 damage to any one target or destroy target artifact. I tried throwing some anti-artifact in here, and that's how I got this. I don't have any anti-enchantment, which is a little unfortunate. Iroh's demonstration is -1 to each creature an opponent controls, or -4 to one creature. It's flex, and I had a few of them, so I threw them in there. The obliterating bolt it voids, and it can target planeswalkers, so I really liked the obliterating bolt, and the fact that it can duplicate off the reflective ramekin. I did have 2 of the Tend the Kilns, and this works with all non-elemental and instant sorcery cards you own permanently become elemental kindreds, in addition to their other types. Whenever you cast an elemental spell, put a flame counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 3 more flame counters, you can remove them and conjure a card named the Flame Braider onto the battlefield, and it gains haste. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice it. But I get a 2/2 with haste, and I can tap it for mana to cast more elemental spells. I really liked how that kind of synergy looked like it would work. The Tasteful Rim Speaker is that any of my spells for greater are going to start drawing me a card. So everything in these following columns. So it is about half my deck that this can turn into card draw, and this isn't my only other card draw either. The Flamekin Guild Weaver. I like the fact that for 4 you get a 4/3 and it gives you one of the mana back. The Supine Linux, I wasn't really sure how this was going to play in here, but players can't gain life, and damage can't be prevented. So when this creature enters, it deals damage to each player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. So it is a little bit of a double-edged sword in that it's like 6 non-basic lands in here, I'm pretty sure. Well, I have more than that. I have 12 non-basic lands in here. I calculated initially before I threw in the monasteries, and so I threw in 4 of the Mistrice Village, and this is, if they're playing a counter deck, I can anti-counter it. This is card draw for 4, I can get an extra card every turn, which is huge. And then the Fire Nation Palace can mana ramp, but it did kind of jump there. The Supine Links, sell a card drawer, the Suit Rascals. It has prowess and trample, and when it enters or whenever you cast an elemental spell, I can conjure a card that's the Rite of Flame, or I can conjure a card named Take Inventory. And Take Inventory allows me to get card draw, and Rite of Flame allows me to mana ramp. So I was pretty happy with that. Or going back to that's a mythic. I'm interested to see how it plays. I threw Shiva in here just because I happen to have one, and tap target creature on turn, round, and 2. Plus they get a stun counter. And then on round 3, I get to draw a card for each tapped creature an opponent controls, which should be at least 1 because of the stun counter. From the prior turn, it prevents them from tapping out, or if they don't notice that they tap out, then I get a bunch of cards out of it. And then for 5, this deals 5 damage to target creature, but it also gives me back 3 mana. And if that creature would die this turn, exile it. So I kind of liked that, going back to it can turn into card draw as opposed to duplication. But I get the exile and the mana back out of it. So for 5, I get 3 back, so it really only costs 2, or it allows me to start casting multiple spells per turn, which something like prowess can benefit from. I don't know. Blue-red decks tend to be interesting, or this is what I ended up with for my elemental deck, and I'm glad it's holding up fairly well. But yeah, with that, look forward to doing some magic in the future.